One of the issues and struggles that so many of my clients have been dealing with in the last few months is that they've been getting a diagnosis, but they haven't been getting a full, proper workup. Doctors want to take all of the symptoms that you discuss with them in the office, and they want to kind of categorize them, lump them into a diagnosis that then directs their treatment and management method or the options that they can offer you to help solve the issues or symptoms that you came in with. The problem with this is that they're missing a very, very key question, and that is why. Why are you having period problems? Why are you dealing with infertility? And what is your body trying to tell you that is not going right? Hi, I'm Ashleen Korchak. I am a board-certified physician assistant, and I'm a PCOS mama to 3. After dealing with and struggling with infertility for almost 2 years, I was able to repair my PCOS fertility hormones naturally and go on to have 3 healthy, happy pregnancies and children. So today I want to talk to you about the difference between getting a diagnosis and getting a full workup and being able to ask that most important question as to why. So there's nothing that your physician is doing wrong. But the important thing to look at is, where are you seeking answers? So when you go to your doctor, let's use the example of, it's like going to Costco. If you go to Costco, you have kind of this cookie cutter, it has to kind of fit all the check marks, and they have these things that they can offer you. And it's a little bit limited when it comes to infertility. Really, they can start you on a period-inducing medication such as Provera. Then they can try to force ovulation with ovulation induction medication such as Clomid or letrozole or trigger shots, and if none of that is working, then they can move on to more scheduled procedures with maybe a little bit more monitoring such as IUI, and then of course the big one is IVF. So really, they are looking at it from a standpoint of gathering just the amount of information they need in order to make sure that that is the right next step that they want to offer you. If you're having issues with irregular periods, they might be looking for, well, what can I offer you to solve your problem? And that might be birth control. So you can see they're looking at really truly what Band-Aid or what modern medicine marvel can I find that would fit your needs. So they're missing, what I find when I'm working with clients, is really the most important key question. So then, what if you were shopping for your home somewhere like Pottery Barn? A little bit more boutique-y, a little bit more individual, a little bit more variety and options that we can look at for your needs, okay? And this is where the question of why comes in. Your fertility hormones, the hormones that regulate your periods, the hormones that are responsible for good or poor fertility, they are your reproductive hormones, and they're the ones that we test for when we look for PCOS, especially when we're just looking for a quick and dirty diagnosis. But if you think of a pyramid of the hormones that are leading to the hormones that are leading to the next hormones, your PCOS hormones and your reproductive hormones are at the tippy top of that pyramid. And so there's a lot going on, a lot of stages of where things can go wrong beneath those. And when we ask, why are you having irregular periods? Why are you not having ovulatory or conceivable cycles? Then what we're asking is what is going wrong underneath in that pyramid? And that gives us all sorts of areas that we can go in and care for the body in the way that it needs. The symptoms of PCOS are really your body's way of saying, I need help, and this is the kind of help that I need. In a proper workup, not only are we going to look at each one of those symptoms and really dive into what are they telling us, but we also want to get more labs that really aren't going to interest the general physician who's looking at this, because it's not going to change what they have to offer you. It does, however, change what you can do to care for your body to fix the problem. So this is where we want to back up a little bit and ask why. Why are you having irregular cycles? Why are you having anovulatory or non-conceivable cycles? Why are you dealing with recurrent miscarriages? It really comes down to the why are your hormones off. Now, a couple examples of this is that when one of my clients recently, and something that I'm seeing more and more and more, is that if they don't have an answer, if it's not going to change what they're going to do, physicians are ordering less and less labs. And this isn't because of any non-caring towards you. It has nothing to do with that. Really, physicians and I, because I was trained in this model, we were trained that we wanted to not do things that were not necessary to the patient. So we didn't want to send them for tests that were unnecessary, both from a standpoint of putting the patient through more than they needed to, as well as if it wasn't going to change what we were going to do, we were incurring kind of irresponsible costs both to the patient and to the medical system. And this makes sense because if you're not going to change what it was that you were going to offer in management for this problem, why would you do more? And the reason is that, but for me, when I'm helping clients with a more holistic approach, that information that we're missing is paramount. And so, I work with clients to either request ordering more labs or how to go about getting more labs so that they can get those answers that they need. And if we need to, we can just kind of look at the symptoms and see what those are telling us as well. But it's not that your physician is being lazy or not wanting to do something for you. It's simply that it doesn't change what they're going to do. But then what I'm seeing in one particular client that I'm thinking of is that she went through several years of Clomid, and then Clomid and letrozole and kind of going back and forth. She was able to get pregnant, but suffered a miscarriage. And then went on to, of course, IUI, and was dealing with the looming thought that IVF was going to be around the corner. And all of this time, because she had never had a period since going off of birth control, her physicians did not think that it was necessary to order lab work because it didn't really matter what was going on. They had done some scans to show there was no physical issue, but she hadn't had some basic labs run that we would want to know. And so these are things where it's just really important to get a full picture. Now, as we worked together, as we looked at her symptoms, as we looked at what was going on, and she did eventually have some labs drawn, what we realized is that she had a hormone imbalance based off of not repairing her insulin levels that were a result of having gone off birth control, having that caused some havoc in her hormones, and then had created some added weight gain. And then although she had kind of brought that into check, she hadn't lost the weight, and it was kind of affecting her insulin, and that was leading to all of her cascade of hormone issues that we're seeing at the top of this pyramid for PCOS. And I bring this up because then contrast that to another client that I was working with, and she had very similar symptoms, but and she was working with a coach that told her, well, you need to eat a low glycemic diet, you need to cut out all these things that you're eating, and because you have all the signs of insulin resistance. Well, we dug a little deeper, we ordered a few extra labs, and then what we found out was actually she had high cortisol. And her high testosterone that her doctor had found and diagnosed her with PCOS was actually a result of high cortisol, not high insulin. And that changes the entire picture. It changes the entire approach to what we need to address and what we need to alter in her lifestyle. And ultimately, after a few months of making some changes, she had 3 ovulatory cycles before she finally got her positive pregnancy test. This is the power of asking that one simple little question, why? And when we ask why, we're able to get a full and proper workup so that we can start to care for and nourish our body in the way that it is asking for, the way that it needs, and the way that will lead to repairing our fertility and promote healthy conceivable cycles, and really further our ability to hope that it'll be our month on our journey to becoming a mommy. So with that, I'm going to be including a link in the description, and this goes on to a short video series that I put together for understanding this process more, understanding your options and what constitutes a full workup, because I know those are the questions that come up. So of course, reach out if you have specific questions, but that link will take you to a short video series where you can go through and really learn how to become your own advocate and navigate this kind of crazy diagnosis to full workup, and then make your own choices of what the best treatment options and management of your PCOS, your fertility, and help to repair that hormone imbalance. So with that, check out that link, and I will see you next time.